All right, boys and girls, welcome to OCD Recovery, another video talking about our big old friend fear of fear. But before I go on, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and let us know what you think. Please comment on this video if you have any questions. If you have any topics you want us to cover, let us know. And if you're interested in our coaching services, you can click the link below in the description. That will take you directly to WhatsApp and you can ask about our services. Now, let's talk about this old friend. Fear of fear, as we know, uh, is fear of being stuck and fear of uncomfortable sensations. Now, fear of being stuck can be with anything. Fear of being stuck with negative emotions, negative experiences, negative feelings, negative thoughts, right? And fear of uncomfortable sensations, which is pretty much the same thing, also includes like physical sensations, right? So we're breaking this down, but today what I wanted to talk about over here with fear of fear was trying to tie it in with fear of exhaustion, fear of burnout, fear of overwhelmingness, and fear of overstimulation. Now, kind of like these, like this is kind of like the other side of the coin quite often with fear of fear, right? A lot of people who have fear of fear very accentuated with their theme also have this going on in the background. It doesn't matter what theme you have, it can be relationship OCD, it can be ROCD, it can be POCD, whatever theme you have. But if you have fear of being stuck and having a fear of uncomfortable sensations, quite often, not always, but quite often, you might also have a fear of being exhausted, burnt out, being overwhelmed, or being overstimulated, right? And like you basically want to always be well rested. You don't want to put too much like on your plate, and you want to take things easy. You want to stick to comfort. Those are, kind of like how we then start behaving according to it. So in light of that, some of the common compulsions that I've written in pink, uh, this I have this little friend over here. So some of the common compulsions are putting off and canceling plans, right? Not taking on too many responsibilities. I write that in inverted commas because, like, for people, even doing 3 or 4 tasks in a day is like, oh, this is too much. So that's why I write too many. Um, Compulsive me time. This was me. I used to stay up late in the night, extra hours, just so that I could recharge from the day and so that I could get that sense of control and that sense of, resting up before I started the next day. Avoiding loud, noisy places. Again, also me. I often, when we would be planning a hangout with amongst us friends, I would always say, "Hey, can we hang out at someone's place rather than going outside?" Because for me, that felt far more comfortable than sitting in a cafe or a restaurant, because that felt way too overwhelming for me. Compulsive meditation and mindfulness. A lot of people do this so that they can get that feeling of they are centering themselves and they are, again, recharging, or they are calming themselves down. But this can often become very compulsive for people. One thing I haven't written here actually that I'm just thinking of is also journaling. So, mindfulness and meditation often, similar to that, is also journaling, where people want to write down their thoughts on a daily basis, because that makes them feel like they are just getting it out all on paper and they are kind of like, resetting their brain. um, Spending most of your home life in bed or on couch or on the couch, like this doesn't mean that you have to constantly be on your feet at home, but what it means is that, like, a lot of people, when especially when they're home, they either are wrapped up in a blanket in bed or they're lying down on the couch in like a, and just like being extremely lazy with a lot of things, which also brings me to procrastination on daily tasks as well. On daily tasks or important tasks, like constantly putting things off, right? That's a like that kind of like laziness and lazy attitude comes with it, right? So this has to change your life structure at home, especially for someone who works from home. There are many, lifestyle recommendations that, I mean, I can technically make, but that's a separate video. But like, you really have to look into this if you're doing this quite a lot. I used to do this. I used to spend hours and hours in bed. obviously wasn't the best thing ever. Taking frequent naps, again, this was me, and so on, right? Now, I mean, these are just some common compulsions I've listed down, but obviously there are way more than this, and they're very specific to like different people as well, depending on their work structure, their life structure, their social life. Like there are many, many, many things. So, but these are just some of the common ones I've listed down. But in all of this, sleep kind of becomes a mini theme because sleep is like if I don't sleep well, then I will be exhausted and burnt out and overwhelmed and overstimulated. I will not rest my nerves well enough. So I need good sleep. And in order to get good sleep, I need a white noise machine, or I need total darkness, or I need one nightlight on, or I want the temperature just right, or I'm not going to have coffee after like 5 p.m., or no alcohol with dinner, and so on. Because in controlling sleep as well, people can have like their own specific unique compulsions as well. Maybe someone prefers to sleep just in cotton or silk because maybe they feel comfortable. Maybe someone wants to, I don't know, just sleep naked even because that makes them feel like they sleep better. Maybe someone wants a heavy blanket. Maybe someone wants a light blanket. Maybe someone wants a double pillow. Maybe someone wants a single pillow. So again, related to sleep, like it can literally be like those can be countless variations of what sleep related compulsions look like. But it becomes a mini theme along with fear of being exhausted in this, right? Some of the common fears associated with it are, and again, not limited to this list, but again, I've just mentioned some of the common ones like you're afraid that you are going to start functioning as a bad human being, you will not be productive, you will be a bad employee at work, your concentration at work will be really bad, or attention span will be bad. You'll be a bad parent. This is a very common one for quite a lot of people as well, especially mothers. Failing at an important task. It can be work related or even in your personal life. Maybe you're about to move into a new house, or maybe you are planning a wedding or something like that. So you're afraid that if you're too tired, you won't be able to do that well. Fear of failure in general, as a result of that, a fear of rejection. Not just fear of rejection from other people, but also from your own self. That I was not able to fulfill my potential as again, or as a parent, as an employee, as a friend, as a husband, as a wife, as a child, whatever it is, right? So fear of rejection can play a huge part in that. And then unhappiness, right? Fear of being unhappy as a result of being exhausted and tired. But this brings me to my next point as well, because this is, I think, quite important. Um, so let me hold this camera. Okay. So with fear of being unhappy, which is again like fear of being sad or depressed or miserable, or fear of being guilty or shameful. I mean, this all ties in with fear of like depression quite well, and this also becomes like a mini theme with fear of exhaustion as well, right? Now, with this, this ties in very well with, and this is me trying to, make a tie-in. I promise my art is way better than this, but with this fear of depression and or sad, bad feelings, this ties in very well with feelings of lethargy, laziness, feeling heavy, tired, or demotivated. And the reason it ties in well with that because our body often uh, processes like both sides of these things in very similar ways. Like if you are sad or depressed or guilty or shameful, you feel very demotivated in life, you feel quite tired, and you feel quite lazy. The same way, when you're feeling quite lazy and when you're feeling quite demotivated in life, it also makes you feel like, oh, I'm also feeling maybe sad or I'm feeling quite miserable, right? So the sensations these two things bring up are like very similar, and therefore, the reason that people then want to run away from exhaustion is because they think it will make them feel potentially lazy and demotivated, and therefore the brain processes it as also these emotions as well. So these both tie in very well together. Like I hardly know anyone who, like, let's say, has a fear of sadness, and also does not have these fears as well, right? So and like and what happens is that when you're feeling quite lazy, automatically you're also thinking, oh, but like, I'm also feeling quite sad, right? So this is how both of these things like tie in together, because the sensations that it produces in the body are quite similar, right? Let's say you're feeling guilty, it brings a kind of heaviness as well, right? So if you're feeling physically heavy, it will also be like, oh, I'm feeling guilty as well, because of feeling tired and heavy, things from the past are showing up and I'm feeling guilty and shameful because of them. So like all of this gets like rounded up in one big ball of demotivation and laziness, sadness, depression, guilt, shame, misery, bad sleep, don't want to be exhausted, and I will be stuck with these feelings for the rest of my life, and I cannot tolerate that, and I can't bear that, right? It all then leads this entire thing. It all leads back to all of this, right? Or you can even like flip it the other way. If I'm stuck with anxiety, or if I'm stuck with OCD or uncomfortable sensations for the rest of my life, I will constantly be exhausted. I will be lazy, demotivated, and tired. I'll be sad, guilty, and shameful, and just never happy ever again, right? And also, I'll fail at all these things. So, like, it goes all those ways, which is why when we come to, I wrote this as a bonus because literally all of this, it does not matter what theme you have, because it ties in with almost, it can tie in with almost any theme you have. So if you have harm OCD, it's like if I don't get good sleep, then my faculties will not work well. I might lose control and I might harm someone or myself for that matter as well, right? Um, Same as existential OCD. Being exhausted or not getting good sleep will worsen my existential fears and how disconnected I feel, and it will worsen my DPDR, and I won't be able to handle it. Exhaustion, bad sleep can lead to health consequences. And that will be so bad that then I will also feel guilty for causing myself health related problems. Or health related problems will make me so unhappy, and I will never be able to get out of that. POCD, similar with harm OCD. If I'm tired or exhausted, then I will do something and I will regret it for the rest of my life. Or doing something about this is going to lead to a lot of depression, and I'll never be able to get out of it. Relationship OCD, same thing. Like if I'm not well rested, I will lose further connection with my partner, or I might lose control and cheat on them, um, etc., etc. Right? Sensory motor. Exhaustion will make my sensory motor OCD far worse, and I will not stop thinking about my blinking. So I need to sleep well so that I can. Yes, I'll be uncomfortable, but it'll be at a bare minimum. Contamination OCD. My sensations of contamination will be really bad. Or if I do too many contamination related compulsions, I'll be super burnt out, exhausted, overwhelmed, and then it'll take me so many hours or maybe even so many days to even get out of it. Um, this I wrote magical thinking because this one was for me as well, because I felt like if I didn't do my magical thinking related compulsions, they will keep bothering me mentally. And if they keep bothering me mentally, then I will be mentally exhausted and burnt out. And therefore, I will be sad and miserable for the rest of my life, right? And you can honestly like put down any theme over here, literally any other theme over here, and it will tie into all these things that I have described. So this is a little colorful map I made. By the way, I took out my sketchbook today because I have literally not used my sketchbook in a long time. I use other things for art related stuff, so I thought I might as well use this for something OCD related. But I hope this makes sense to you. I hope this is something you find relatable and helpful. Let me know if you want me to do another video of a breakdown of something like this, and I can cover that. And I'll see you guys soon on another video. Bye bye.